A few principles of teaching in content area. Adolescents entering the adult world in the 21st century will read and write more than at any other time in human history. They will need advanced levels of literacy to perform their jobs, run their households, act as citizens, and conduct their personal lives. They will need literacy to cope with the flood of information they will find everywhere they turn. They will need literacy to feed their imagination so they can create the world of the future. There are some brief techniques that we need to consider. The purpose of this video is to actually demonstrate how reading and writing strategies can be incorporated in content area. My content area is English. As a result, we're going to be looking at these strategies to help maximize the learning process. The reading strategies will include making connections, text to self, society and world, visualizing, creating mental images of the text to help students to better understand the text. Inferring, using background information and textual clues to interpret meaning of text, and asking questions to clarify meaning and determining what kind of thinking will help students arrive at an answer. In terms of the writing strategies, we have three strategies to incorporate: the pre-writing, writing, and post-writing. For pre-writing, there are brainstorming, webbing, charting as part of graphic organizers. Writing can incorporate modeling and practicing, and then the post-writing involves editing and sharing the text, whether it's publishing or just writing a letter, writing a paper, orally presenting your written responses. So folks, we know that today's topic is descriptive writing, and as I mentioned earlier, the purpose of the video is to incorporate both reading and writing strategies in the development of a lesson, and to have you actively engage in different reading and writing strategies to help you in the process of learning. So even though the topic is actually descriptive writing, there will be a reading component to start the lesson off. To start the lesson off, I'm going to ask Oscar as an example in reference to our previous knowledge, if Oscar could stand up and give us a brief definition of what is descriptive writing.
Right. Descriptive writing is sometimes called showing writing. It's a writing that describes a particular person, place, or event in great detail. Descriptive writing uses a lot of flowering adjectives and adverbs to describe what is going on or how something appears.
Thank you, Oscar. It's a good example of going back to our previous knowledge. Okay, so now, since this is a visualizing activity as part of the descriptive process, what I would like you to do is just to sit back and relax and close your eyes. And as I'm reading these lines, try to focus not only on what is the subject or the topic, what are the details, but enjoy the sensory descriptions that are being given in this written passage. Okay, so are you guys ready? So again, we're sitting back, we're relaxing, we're closing our eyes. Okay. On the corner of my room sits a smiling toy clown on a tiny unicycle. A gift I received last Christmas from a close friend. The clown's short yellow hair, made of yarn, covers its ears, but is parted above the eyes. The blue eyes are outlined in black and thin dark lashes flowing from the brows. It has cherry red cheeks, nose and lips, and its broad grin disappears into the wide white ruffle like a bib around its neck. The clown wears a fluffy two-tone nylon costume. The left side of the outfit is light blue and the right side is red. The two colors merge in a dark line that runs down the center of the small outfit. Surrounding its ankles and disguising its long black shoes are big pink bows. The white spokes on the wheels of the unicycle gather in the center and expand to the black tire so that the wheels somewhat resembles a tiny inner half of a grapefruit. The clown and unicycle together stand about a foot high. As a cherished gift from my good friend Julie, this colorful figure greets me with a smile every time I enter my room. So now what I'd like you to do is just open your eyes, and since we're already in a group, we're gonna just stay within this group, and I'm gonna distribute the passages, some questions, and your roles that you're gonna organize within your group. You have to share shoulder to shoulder. If you have to share, you share shoulder to shoulder. All right. Who wants to be the reader? Who wants to be a recorder? You guys are gonna be recorder. All right, recorder, whatever responses is given, you're going to write on the shop paper. The checker, before you read, you edit the shop paper. All right. And then we have reader. And then we have reporter. Oh, you don't want to be a reporter, though. So we have already done a visualization of a reading. Now you have the text in front of you. Each of you have your prescribed roles. A reader, a recorder, a checker, and a reporter. And the reader is going to start by reading the questions. Then you guys can have a discussion about the responses to these questions. The recorder will write your responses. The checker can edit the recorder's text. And then you can eventually give the reporters, and they can start to give us responses. As you're focusing on these questions, the last 3 questions are the more critical questions that we must share and discuss. So you can go ahead.
What is the subject or topic? What details can you recall about the topic? What is the overall attitude or belief about the subject? How are the ideas ordered? If it is not chronological or sequential, how does the writer model his ideas? What is the first detail that is presented, then the last? Why might this order of ideas have been used? What is the main writing strategy being used?
Ronnie, what are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I think the subject will be the smiling person.
Oscar, do you want to add to that?
Well, basically, to me, I picked up that the subject is about the toy that she and a unicycle that she used as a
Was there an overall attitude or belief about this clown on a unicycle?
I would say so because then she mentioned that she gets a feeling when she walks into her room and she looks at it.
Excellent. And what feeling is that? Joy.
A feeling of joy.
And what feeling does joy represent in you?
Happiness.
Okay, great. And I hope the recorder is making notes of all of that. Do you guys know the term that is used when you identify the subject and you have an overall attitude or feeling about that subject? It's a DI word. The overall attitude or feeling about a subject is a DI word. It's not the topic sentence, but it's similar to the topic sentence. Even though we covered it already, I'll just give you a reminder. That is the dominant impression. The dominant impression. So Oscar, what do you think is a dominant impression?
A dominant impression is when a subject is stated and the person in the passage attitude towards the subject.
So we've covered the first 3 questions just now. Now, in terms of the ordering of ideas, what was the first detail that the writer presents about the clown?
First detail? The first detail is that it is in a corner of her room.
Right, but about the clown itself, apart from the location, the physical attributes of the clown.
Short yellow hair, yarn covers his ears, but it's part above the eye.
Okay, excellent, Sulema. I like the fact that you're going into the text. It's always good to reread the text and reference the text to assist in coming up with responses to these questions. Okay, and Ronnie, we haven't heard from you yet. intricate detail about the clown apart from him being on a unicycle?
Okay. I think it's the one when it says that it wore fluffy nylon costume.
Okay, apart from that, below the costume, what comes next? Axel, can you see it? Can you see the lines that repeat the description about the clown? After Ronnie's line, apart from the pants, what else is there?
Surrounding its ankle and deciding its long black shoes.
Okay.
Big and pink bows.
Okay. So what can we visualize about the hair of the clown?
Yellow hair.
Yellow hair made of yarn. And going down, what's the last detail? The shoes. What color are the shoes? Black. Are they shoes or boots?
Shoes black.
They're black shoes with pink bows. So in terms of the order of ideas, how did this writer record the ideas about the clown? If we start from your hair and we move down to your shoe, what kind of order is that?
That's more like a chronological.
Is it chronological?
Yes.
Okay, everybody touch your head. Shoulder. And then touch your hip. And then touch your knee. What kind of order is that? You were saying it just now, Selena. No, that's the type of writing. The movement of ideas. How is it moving? Where is this? The top. And then if we touch toes, where is that? Top to bottom. Right. So, Axel, if you look at question number 4, repeat the question number 4 for us.
How are the ideas in order?
Okay, and Ronnie, what would your response be? What did he just suggest? No, I challenge you with the next question. Why do you think the author gives us a top to bottom description about the clown?
I think it's to be more really good for the reader to get a better idea of the clown.
Okay.
Create a better image.
Okay. Why else? Why did he go from top to bottom? Why not left to right or right to left? And what other reason why you think? If Denzel Washington just walked into the room, how would you start to visually perceive his existence? Right. So it's a natural way in which we view life. So the writer uses a natural way in which we perceive people in the development of this description. And as Sulema mentioned, it's very orderly, it's very organized, and because we understand ideas in that way, we can follow the description in that way. Any questions so far? Okay, and then Sulema, you have the last question then, because you have been excited to present this idea.
Why might this order?
No, the last question.
What is the main writing strategy being used? You're describing something.
Okay. Now, if we go back to the meaning that Oscar presented on the board, what meaning can you extract from that relates to the passage that proves to you that it is descriptive writing? Okay. It is giving a description of an object or a thing in very great detail.
Adjectives and verbs.
Okay, you identified adjectives and verbs. Could you highlight some of them?
Short, yellow hair. Short.
Excellent. Excellent. As an oral reading strategy, Another technique, apart from the teacher modeling the reading, you can encourage students to pair share their reading assignment.
An innate infinitive.
After students pair share, we can also look at vocabulary in context. And Oscar has identified a few unfamiliar terms that he has discovered within the text. Oscar will read his list.
My unfamiliar terms were innate, affinity, unfailingly, hue, labyrinth, opaque, and plume.
As part of vocabulary strategies, after a student has identified unfamiliar terms, we drafted a vocabulary list. This vocabulary list is very unique in the sense that you have choices to make regarding what you think are the responses, and it also offers opportunity for conversation so that you can use the unfamiliar terms as part of your everyday language. So Oscar mentioned earlier that one word that was unfamiliar is innate. So if we go back to the text, Oscar, can you read the line that mentions the word innate?
The line says, an innate affinity with wide illuminating space led me often in the direction of the beach along the coastal shore.
Very good. So we have innate and we have affinity.
Okay. What is...
No, if
I have a passion to sing or dance, that gift is innate or...
Read the choices.
A, natural. B, unnatural. C, rare.
Okay, so this gives you an example to think about the vocabulary and make a choice regarding what you think this word may mean. So you're using the context to give you the clues to decide. Okay, Oscar, what do you think is the meaning of that term?
In natural.
Excellent. All right. So having a natural ability, is something innate. So if we looked at the question, what innate gift do you have? It's a natural gift that we have, and in the example we looked at singing and dancing. Axel, do you have any innate gift that you think you could think about? What natural gift do you think God gave you? Can you rap? Can you dance? Can you write?
Sports.
Okay, so you have an innate gift for playing sports. Okay, so that means you're an excellent sportsman. All right, and what sport are you thinking about?
Basketball.
Okay, excellent. So in these reading comprehension strategies, apart from looking at vocabulary and reading the passage, we did some visualization to help us to comprehend the actual passage. I think visualization is a good technique for this passage because the words, the vocabulary words, are quite complex and elevated for this level. And after the visualization, we can then look at, make some inferences and then ask some questions about the text.
Okay, as an assumption, the writer and the dog seem to have good places that they can actually find comfortable to maybe to have some time together, and it shows that they surely